Well, it's Friday night, and clearly I've got no life or anything like that, so I guess it's time to do a review. And should we do quite a big one? Should we do something quite impressive? Yeah, why not? So we're going to review DragonStorm. Took me a second to remember his name then. Whoops. And yeah. It's a big three-headed dragon. Yeah, with open closing mouths. The heads move and they open. Raw. That's all neat. Let's try. There we go. And the colours are a bit weird. It's kind of like it was chromed, and someone's just spent way too much time scraping the chrome off. I'm not sure why, but that's, like this. And then that's a lighter grey, or sort of like a sandy stone colour. And then this is grey with the silver, and yeah, it's really weird. The colours don't really match, and these these necks don't really match, and everything's a bit weird. But it's one of those things, if you let it get to you, it's going to get to you. And the wings are hinged here, and here, and here. But this doesn't really work for the dragon mode, because that means the wings can be folded up. It doesn't really work that way. So you can get some, pose and stuff out of them. That almost snapped off. Wasn't me. I came home from work and it was like that. The wing was off, and this piece was practically snapped off. I've managed to glue it, and it is holding. But yeah, I was worried that was going to snap. So I'm getting the review in while I can, just in case. And if we get the wings out of the way so you can see, it's not that impressive on the body, And there's a robot mode weapons stored under the wings and the one stuck on the back. Just ignore them, it's fine. So you've got the weird coloured plastic, and this hasn't even got the silver. This is just a light grey with a similar paint to this over the top of the grey, and then some light grey, and then silver, which is super floptastic. The colours do not match at all. If they'd gone for a unified colour like paint scheme, it'd make this look a lot better. The legs are again completely different colours, but that's for a later mode. So yeah, the paint scheme and stuff is just baffling and doesn't make a lot of sense. And then you got the heads that are all bright orange. I'd be hard pressed to say I don't like this, but again, I'd be hard pressed to explain, to convince someone else that it's good, And yeah, you've got a couple of hinges there, and you move it back into, and the foot will go a bit forward and that. And you've got a ball joint here. There is a hinge here, but it locks in place, and if you want any weight on it, you need it locked in place. And this hinge, which again was loose. This was second hand, so a lot of these were loose, and I've had to floor polish, so I can't blame it, on the figure. Mine was second hand, so and it's just, it's fine, but considering how much this thing was supposed to have cost, I got it a lot cheaper. I'd be really annoyed if I paid money to get like the full retail price. That's not acceptable, I don't know. I don't. So, size comparisons. Well, there's Age of Extinction Bumblebee. So, yeah. I don't know what you can take home from that one, to be honest with you. And just because I got it in the same lot, here's Voyager Scorn. Now, that's leader class. That's Voyager. There's not much in it, really, is there? I mean, this has got a couple of extra bits and pieces, like the extra heads and the wings are bigger, but There's not much in it. So how do they justify it? See, I thought this was going to be big, you know? It's not really. So let's get this out of the way. Have I got anything else that you lot might know the size of? I don't know. Not really. Okay, never mind. And then you can transform it. For argument's sake, I'm going to pop this off. You can leave it on for most of the transformation, but we're just going to take this off. And the transformation comes to this. Basically, I'm going to raise the camera up because this is going to get really awkward if I don't. Hooray! Okay. So what we've got to do is we might just fold this tail up for now, just that top bit, because it's going to get in the way of everything if I don't. Got to rotate these arms up front, up there. Wriggle these pieces just so they're loose. There's a tab there, and there's just a slot on the inside here. So you just wriggle those loose, and then you split the chest piece, which splits to there, and then up round the side. There is a reason for it, but without knowing that, it just looks kind of like, well, you're just trying to be different for the sake of it now. So we pull, and it sort of splits. Sure, these shoulder pads and stuff are out of the way. Sorry, shoulder pads, neck guards. What am I talking about? Out of the way, and then you just pull this bit out. We'll do this one first. Should we? No. We'll leave that one to last. We'll do this one first, because this is the awkward one. Yay! Awkward. Yeah. Okay, so we want these kind of down. Basically, these bits have got to go into the middle, and these bits, that's the dog rattling his ears, these bits have got to rotate to the sides to be the arms, but they've got to go through this gap. However, if you just rotate these arms down, you know, fold them up and just shove them in the back, it doesn't work. They've also got to be just so. I'll show you when we get to it, but they've got to be just so, and it's a bit fiddly. So we're going to rotate this down, bring this around a bit, and we're going to fold the arm and twist it and just shove it to about there for now. Okay, so we'll get that to about there, and we're going to flip out the really obvious head, and that is why this is shaped the way it is. Yeah, sure, why not? And we're going to sort of try and wriggle that around. Now, what we want is it for like this, so that the sort of dragon forearm elbow is sticking like diagonally out to the front, not straight down or into the back. You want it sort of down to the front. Okay? Let's try and do this on this other side, which should be slightly easier because the head's not in the way. I said slightly. Come on. Come on. Don't fight with me now. Alright. Shove it in there. Okay. So they are, instead of being flat, they are raised slightly. Okay? And then you close this up and tab it back together as it was for the dragon mold. At which point we're going to rotate these down, and I'll show you this one because you can see this one. Huzzah! We're going to untab this bit and try and bring it down, all the way down. This grey piece here is a double hinge, so it's hinge there and hinge here. We can now straighten it up there, and it should, I think, tab into place. So now we are doing all these, but this kneecap fills in the gap. Okay? I'm not sure if you can see any of this. We're also going to flip out the toe and straighten out the foot. Rotate it down and turn it so this becomes the front of the leg. Huzzah! And look, all the cog details and stuff. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Not really. So let's do it again. So we'll bring it all the way down, fold it up, tab it into place, flip out the toe, rotate it around, and then you basically fold these all the way up on this double hinge on each side, rotate them in, and they sort of notch in there and then tab together. So notch in and tab together. Okay, so we're most of the way. Now we need to rotate the arms so that the dragon head's a bit like "Ruh," and then push it through, and then the handle pops through there. Straighten it out, bring it down. There's an arm. Say, push all that through. Close that down. There's the other arm, and the wings you can just sort of collapse onto the back to make a faux cape. It doesn't work very well, but whatever. They've tried, I suppose. Yeah, looks a bit like that. Why not? And that is Dragonicus, one half of DragonStorm. And he's alright. He's quite stocky. I think you're supposed to pretend these bits aren't there because they're more like for the dragon mode. So if you pretend they aren't there, he's got a reasonable figure. Not bad. But with him, he just kind of looks a bit podgy. But whatever. Arms alright, ball joint, swivel, hinge, nothing at the wrist, but who cares? Head's on a ball joint, a little bit hindered, but it's fine. Looks kind of pretty too. Kind of pretty. Kind of pretty indeed. Hinges, yeah, that will try and pop apart, but it's fine, don't worry about it. So hinges, knee, ball joint, but not great. A little bit of toe if you really want to count it. Whatever. It's got some articulation. And you can take the swords off and give him 2 swords, because why not? Yeah. Remember, these are supposed to be knights, so, you know, give them swords and stuff. Itch it. Get in there. There we go. Yay! Swords. And he's fine. He's alright. Let's do this bit. Yeah, it's Nessie. Okay, so, first things first, we're going to rotate this piece to there. On giant silver pin. Okay. I'm going to bring this out. And this little L shape here is a double hinge of sorts. So we're going to hinge it sort of down, and while we're doing it, get it to there. And rotate the head around. Turn the arm so it's facing the chest. Flip out the hand. There it is. Bring this arm down, rotate it so that the head sort of do the same thing, push it through, flap, blah blah blah. There's the other arm. We get this whole piece, which sort of tabs onto this, well, slot, big tab there. Bring that up, and that sort of sits in its place. It's more the friction of this hinge, but fine. Rotate this, bring it out, and these pieces here will grip onto this hinge here. So, come on, grip on properly. There we go. Okie dokie. And this bit's the crotch plate, because that bit isn't. Rule of thumb for you. Let's get the legs straight, rotate it around, there you go. Flip out the toe, straighten. I've already folded this bit up, but you would just shove that in, fold that in there, toe, straighten. And this is Storm Rain in robot mode. And you can store this in the peg in the back. Why not? Storm Rain in robot mode. Huzzah! I've tried my best to tighten this knee. It's not having it. But it's not super loose, it's just more loose than I would like. And yeah. Yeah, that's not good, is it? It's, yeah, I mean, that's supposed to hold it, but it don't work. Yeah, he's not great, is he? And you know what's really funny? Because I looked at the TF wiki of these guys. He's supposed to be the leader. They must have looked at him and gone, there's nothing to him. Why? How can we get people to be interested? You know the whole Knights of Cybertron, the sort of, you know, the Knights and all the rest of it, including Steelbane, is it? I can't remember what he's called. I can't be bothered getting him out for this review. I'm sorry. Yeah, this guy's supposed to be the leader of all the knights. You know, of the two of them, which one would you pick as the leader? But no, apparently it's him. And he's fine. He's alright. I don't know, my underdog senses are tingling and kind of making me feel sorry for him, but, you know, he's a bit, really. And you can give him a mace, so he can run around and clobber people with it. Or maybe it's supposed to be a magic wand, I don't know what it's supposed to be. Doesn't really look like anything, but whatever. And he's alright. But there's a significant loss of mass for this one compared to this one. Let's bring this down a bit for you. There we go. There's a significant mass difference between the two. And I don't know. I mean, this guy seems kind of busy, kind of messy, but then he seems slightly oversimplified, so there's some grey area in between, you know? I should really get Scorn transformed, but I can't be bothered. So, for size comparison, you're going to get Bumblebee back. There you go. These guys are Voyagers, just. That and the Voyager up there you'd recognise the height of. Yeah, actually, hang on. Last Night Hound. So he's not the tallest of Voyagers, but he's about the same kind of height as these guys. So they're not massive. And I kind of feel like they should be bigger. They should be bigger. They should have a better paint scheme. Because I know Steelbane had the same kind of paint scheme and it's awful. But, you know, they should be bigger. Bigger! It's not quite there for me. I mean, granted, I paid hardly anything for them, so I'm not going to complain. You know, I got the 25 quid, I got these, the Voyager Scorn, a Voyager Slog, and a couple of other bits and pieces. I'm not complaining. I just think they should be bigger, and the paint scheme should be better. I want the Takara to re-release this in a couple of years and put their own paint job on it and stuff. They're going to do a great job. But I'm not in love with these guys, and it's a shame. Because they're kind of neat, but they can't do anything on their own. The Dragon mode's a little bit lackluster. And what are you going to do? I mean, I don't even see any Autobot symbols or anything on them. You know, no insignias or anything like that. So, I just don't... I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to say I don't like them. I really don't think they're worth the kind of price point they were. I mean, alright, I didn't pay that, so I can kind of glide past that issue, but still, I don't know. I do still have a soft spot in my heart for them because inevitably, deep down inside, they're a bit lame. And those are my people, and I must stand by them. They're just not making it easy for me to love them, is the point. They're not making it easy on me. Ah, dear me. Deary, deary me. So yeah, let me just give my thoughts a chance. Update on my life so far. I have booked holidays. So I'm now going to KamehaCon in August and SeiyaCon in September. It's almost as if I like Dragon Ball. It's alright. I don't love it as much as some people do, but, you know, why not? And while I was trying to book these two, my manager turned around and said, oh yeah, you know your temporary contract runs out at the end of the month. I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, we're going to extend your temporary contract until the end of April. And hopefully at the end of that, we're going to give you all full signed contracts, like the three of us that have been kept on. It's like, oh, so I'm not losing my job. Huzzah! That's the good news. However, because I've now got conventions to go to, I'm going to have to start saving money. Why I just ordered Power of the Prime's Repugnus before I did this review, I don't know, but it was 35 quid, so yeah. I'm a bad person and I need to start spending money, but whatever. Yeah, so yeah, let's get back to the subject at hand. Yay! If you can get them cheap and you want them just for the novelty value, do it. If you think they're going to rock your world, they really, really aren't. But maybe you just like this. You really like this aesthetic. I can take it or leave it, but you know it's fine. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go and talk to my hotel mate for Kameo-con. Yes. And wow, I sounded creepy. Brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to go and start doing stuff. So, I should be ugly, I should be wretched, I shall see all of you in the next one. Laters!